Hi, welcome to BioStock. Carbiotix is a biotech company pioneering in microbiome healthcare. Here to give us an update on the latest developments for the company is CEO Kristofer Cook. Welcome, Kristofer.
Happy to be here, Mike.
Well, I'd like to start out by asking you about the regulatory process that has been slightly delayed in recent months, and I was wondering if you could give us an update on that.
Yeah, certainly. We're aiming to get GRAS self-affirmation. So essentially the process is you submit a dossier to an expert panel, 3 individuals on this panel, independent people, so they're not working for the FDA. They evaluate the dossier over typically a 1 to 3 month period, and then they state whether they agree with the dossier. And then you can use that with communications to potential customers. Some customers require self-affirmation to be in place. So what happened last year is that we were delayed because of the use of a help aid or an enzyme in the process. Now that was approved, but during that period, we worked on our process to improve it. And the end result of that was a process which was significantly better. And anytime you change a process or a product, you have to go through this entire regulatory process again. So we're in the position right now where we're getting our second generation process in place in BioStock. And with that, we'll be able to accelerate the GRAS process. So we've already identified the expert panel. We have the consultant. So the trigger point there is obviously getting the process up and running in BioStock. Saying that, our ambition level has increased significantly. Our second gen process produces yields that are more than double of our previous or our first generation process. And because we're now working with 3 different substrates, so oat and pea as well as corn fiber, what you're going to see is a much more ambitious plan when it comes to launching different products, not only nutraceutical ingredients, but also cosmetic ingredients. We've communicated earlier that we'll be coming out with a product regulatory roadmap, and that'll be coming out quite shortly. But I want that to be something that Eric, who's coming in, Eric Diener, the new CEO, I want him to own that, and therefore that will be presented post AGM when he steps in as CEO, and that becomes his roadmap going forward in terms of launching new products to market. So the process is definitely moving forward. All the puzzle pieces are in place, and then we just need that alignment with our second gen process. So of course the process has been delayed, and you can argue that, from October of last year to now is a delay, but fundamentally once you come with a new process or product, you sort of start that reset button. Yeah. So our confidence level is so high with the second gen process. There wasn't any ambition to work with the first gen process because it simply didn't make sense, because the customers would gravitate towards a better product. Because we're going to be, at the end of the day, paid for the effect of the product. How good is the product in stimulating key bacteria and short chain fatty acid levels? There's no sense in pursuing the first gen process.
Well, we definitely look forward to talking more with Eric about this then, for sure. Yeah. Well, you mentioned your facility in BioStock, and you recently announced the decision to scale up the production of Carbiotix from oat fiber. I was just wondering, how is oat fiber different from other sources of fiber in the context of prebiotics and especially Carbiotix?
Yeah, this is something that we're discovering as we work through these different substrates. So the corn fiber and the oat fiber and the pea fiber, when we extract our product from them, and again, we're talking about a very complex product, we create products that are unique to that particular substrate. And with that, as we get these different products approved, and of course with a higher ambition level, getting these different substrates approved, the oat, the pea, and the corn, we'll be in a position where we can actually select parts of these different products to customize a product for a client. For example, if you have a customer that's targeting a specific disease, and we know that in those populations, a certain bacteria are lacking, or you want to enhance the growth of that bacteria, and we know that as the probiotic bacteria contribute to many positive health benefits, then we can actually customize a product based upon the different products we have to meet the needs of the customer. And that's one of the advantages of actually producing the product from many different types of substrates. So as we're going to be paid for the effect, which we could validate through our link gut service, having a portfolio or library of different products to choose from, and our ability to mix these products together in different ways gives us a significant advantage as we go to the market and work with these different companies, the probiotics companies, the other prebiotics companies, the cosmetics companies, to get a product that has the best effect possible in stimulating these key bacteria.
You also mentioned the fact that Eric Diener is coming up as new CEO and you will become chairman of the board. So you could say the company is going through a transition phase, going from more of a developmental company to a commercial company. Is that a fair assessment?
I would certainly say we're at an inflection point right now. I've been working as CEO for roughly 8 years, over 8 years now, since the company's founding in 2014. And as we get to this stage of ramping up commercial activities in our core business area, which is obviously the sale of ingredients for different applications, we've modified our board, brought in 2 individuals who will certainly assist with business development and sales and have a lot of experience in the area as well. The proposal is I'll be moving over to chairman of the company, both to ensure a highly functional board, but also to engage those board members in practical work with business development. Eric, who has a background in sales and business development, will be moving up into the CEO position, and I'll be there to support him. So I'll be fundamentally working as a working chairman in the company. And so fundamentally on a day-to-day basis, there won't be too significant changes in the company. And I'll certainly give Eric the space to grow as CEO in the company while spearheading and focusing on business development and sales.
Well, and looking forward, of course, as you go through this transition, you're currently undergoing a rights issue to raise some capital. How will those funds fundamentally change the company?
Well, obviously we're not profitable yet. We're still growing and getting our first product to market in our core business area, which is the sale of the prebiotics. So we'll be completing, in terms of the allocation of the funds, we'll be completing what we consider as the upgrade to the second gen process, which is this nanofiltration, ultrafiltration, spray drying capacities. So we can produce samples of product for different customers as well as studies. The intention is obviously of completing the GRAS of at least one product, but obviously the ambition level is much higher than that, and Eric will communicate that in due course. And obviously starting the reg process in Europe, so we get that in place. But the key thing is getting product to market as quickly as possible. And what could happen is that the cosmetic applications could come to market before the nutraceutical, given how things are moving forward. But we'll have to see how that pans out, and Eric will communicate that as well. Obviously, we want to demonstrate the benefits that go beyond, obviously, mineral absorption and regulation of blood sugar. We think that at least the future of our product, which is what we consider a high-end prebiotic, is the product being used as a co-intervention with synthetic pharmaceuticals, both for oral applications or oral therapeutics, as well as topical as well. And the completion of this initial study we're doing with metformin, I think, will demonstrate that there's certainly a benefit of utilizing a highly efficacious prebiotic with a synthetic pharmaceutical, in this case an off-patent pharmaceutical, and any type of oral drug, because what you're fundamentally trying to do is improve the pharmacokinetics, so how much active ingredient reaches the liver. And we know that a healthy mucosal layer certainly assists that in the GI tract with the transfer of active ingredient. So if we can increase the efficacy of drugs in development as well as drugs at market and drugs off patent, that is a significant value driver that's worth pursuing, and we'll certainly be pursuing that area.
A lot of exciting things coming up for Carbiotix, indeed.
Definitely.
Yeah. That was our conversation with Carbiotix CEO Kristofer Cook about the company's latest developments. Thank you so much, Kristofer, for joining for this interview, and we hope to see you again.
Thank you very much, Mike.